Okay, this is week 2 of the Lincoln Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Center beginner curriculum. This is our first look at the closed guard position. We're gonna do 2 variations of a collar choke and a sweep. Attentive viewers will notice that 2 of the attacks we're doing from the closed guard bottom are the same attack that we did last week in the mount. Mount and closed guard obviously play very differently, but the arrangement of your limbs, your hips, and your partner's limbs and your partner's hips are quite similar in mount and closed guard, and so many of the same attacking options are available from both positions. So, in the first attack is a collar choke. Okay, so this is our basic cross collar choke, 2 palms up. Many of the same rules that we talked about in the mount lesson still apply. I'm gonna make a 4-finger grip. I'm gonna open my elbow to make space to make a second 4-finger grip. Both of my hands will naturally be aligned somewhat away from my partner's neck. So as I grip, I'm gonna rotate my hands to bring the blade of my forearm onto my partner's neck. The squeeze does not come from opening my elbows, okay? It comes from instead pulling my arms into my hips, pulling my elbows to my hips, similar to like a rowing motion in the gym, okay? I think that's it, let's see it. So just like last week, on the first grip that I make, my second hand will assist. So I'll open the collar, I'll climb my first hand in, and I'll make this first grip as deep as possible because the second grip I won't be able to make quite as deep. So I'll even try to reach up until I feel the label of my partner's gi, right? And then I'll pull it in. When I pull it in, just like last week, I'm gonna push my elbow, push my forearm into my partner's body to avoid him being able to weave his hands under to defend the choke. Okay, so I'm gonna push my forearm into my partner's body. When I'm ready to choke, I'll open my elbow and my second hand will trace in. And just like last week, we'll do the princess wave to get our hands deeper. Okay, and now I need to rotate my hands, pull my elbows to my hips, and squeeze. Okay, let's do the other side. So I open my partner's collar, 4 fingers in, get as deep as I can. As soon as I've made the grip, I'm gonna pull, kind of like almost rotate or flex my wrist, push my forearm into my partner, open my elbow, chase the second hand deeper. Okay, get as deep as I can reasonably, rotate my hands, pull my elbows to my hips and squeeze. Okay? Philosophically, I think it's really important to gradually increase the pressure when you're squeezing a choke. If I grip and immediately squeeze as hard as I can, then if there's anything wrong with my choke, I'm gonna burn my forearms out, basically on a choke that didn't really have any likelihood of working to begin with. On the other hand, if I reach in and slowly increase my pressure, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, then I give myself a chance to find out whether my arms are in position, whether everything is gonna work. And also psychologically, I think it's very damaging to your opponent to be put in a choke, and then for the first several seconds that they're in the choke, everything only gets tighter and worse, okay? Whereas on the other hand, if you reach in, squeeze really hard, and then if you kind of run out of energy and have to let up, you give your opponent a kind of a psychological boost, and they realize that they can probably or maybe survive the choke, and they're gonna fight you harder instead of giving up, okay? So that's the first variation.